Spring has arrived in the Netherlands. Alright, so spring is a super popular time of the year to visit Netherlands. The reason for that is tulips. And with this video, I'll make it as easy as possible for you to plan your tulip journey across Netherlands. So without further ado, let's get started. If someone says tulip, it almost is impossible to think of Netherlands. But did you know that that hasn't been the case all through the history? In fact, tulips were brought to Netherlands by the Turkish Sultan sometime in the 16th century. Ever since that time, the popularity and fame of tulips grew, and so did the production of tulips in this small country. And fast forwarded to the 21st century, here we are. There are April in Netherlands means only one thing and one thing only, and that is tulips. So if you're planning a trip in the spring season in Netherlands, this video is going to help you out make the best and the most effective plan for your tulip spotting. So to begin with, a very simple question which I get asked a lot, literally by all friends and even some followers on social media. Where can I find tulips? The answer to that is simpler than you think. Well, you see, in the season of tulips, which peaks somewhere around mid-April, you would literally find tulips all around you, no matter where you are in Netherlands. So to begin with, part one, cities. So city would be by far the most stress-free way of spotting tulips if that is all you want to see. And trust me, as a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who actually wish to visit Netherlands just to see this special flower, how it looks like in reality, and they are not interested in huge fields and so on and so forth. So for that, I would say pretty much any city you visit in Netherlands, chances are majority of you would come to Amsterdam. All you have to do is walk around in the center of Amsterdam. I really tell this to people that you don't really have to do much to spot tulips. The tulips themselves will find you. So in case you're lucky, you might even bump into a couple of bridges which would be decorated with a special flower theme, and you may see flowers installed on these bridges. Yeah, so the first plan, which is to spot tulips in the cities, is by far the most stress-free way. I would suggest you stick to your plan of city seeing, city watching, maybe a walk tour, it may be a boat tour in Amsterdam. But I'm fully aware that this might not be the most appealing and the most desired way of spotting tulips for most of you, which is why we go to our next and the most popular way of spotting tulips, which is tulip gardens. So gardens are the most popular way of spotting tulips in Netherlands, and chances are, if you've clicked on this video, you already know and are well aware of Keukenhof by now. If you're not, then let me tell you that Keukenhof is the largest and the most commercial tulip field garden here in Netherlands, and people from all over the world, especially Asia, visit Netherlands every year, especially close to the tulip season, just to pay a visit to this tulip garden. Keukenhof has an area of about 79 acres, and it installs around 7 million tulip bulbs every year, which in my opinion is huge. You won't need to see any more tulips in your entire life after you visit Keukenhof, trust me. But there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you visit to Keukenhof. Number one is the tickets. The official website of Keukenhof itself encourages people to buy tickets online. You can do that on the official website of Keukenhof. There are a bunch of approved and legit third-party companies that you can prefer to buy the tickets from. There's booking, there's tickets, there's get your guide. The list is endless. While buying the tickets, just make sure that you are not buying on a suspicious website and it has a lot of reviews, and you will be fine. So another thing to keep in mind when it comes to Keukenhof is that it isn't open to tourists all year long. They usually have an opening hours as well as opening months, which is available on their website. So I would suggest, whichever year you're watching this video, to go to the Keukenhof website just to be sure that the time of the year when you're planning to visit Keukenhof, it remains open. I usually recommend people to go early to Keukenhof because depending on how much you are interested in flowers, it can easily consume your entire day. The garden itself, like I mentioned, is huge, and there are a bunch of different colorful tulip installations which you can really enjoy, especially if the weather is in your favor. Keep in mind though that because of its popularity, Keukenhof can get extremely crowded. But if crowded places is not your thing and you still wish to visit any garden where you can find thousands and thousands of tulips installed all around you and take a very leisure walk through nature, I have a great suggestion for you. Polder Town is a very small tulip garden situated in the northernmost part of Netherlands. While it could be over an hour-long drive away from you, depending on where you are in the country, this garden is located in Anna Paulowna, which is the lesser-known part of the country in the north. The best part about visiting this garden is that it is free, and they don't close their doors on you after a specific date. So, while Keukenhof does have an opening time of the year and a closing date, Polder Town is absolutely free, as well as you can go there whenever you like. So after talking about tulip gardens in great detail, we come to the next exciting category, which is tulip fields. So tulip fields are also a great way of spotting tulips here in Netherlands. Before we discuss tulip fields in great detail, there are a couple of things which I want you to keep in mind. Number one, be respectful to the owners of the fields. There have been instances where the farmers or the owners of the field get quite pissed at the visitors because they try to do things they're not supposed to, mainly things like trashing, destroying their property, or plucking the flowers and taking them home, which is not encouraged at all. Just a request to you to be good tourists and be respectful to these farmers. The second tip which I have for you before you plan on visiting tulip fields in Netherlands, the tulip season peaks during the month of April, and April has a very special spot in the history of Netherlands. April at some times could be a very unpredictable time of the year where one moment it might be really hot and sunny, the very next moment it might start to rain or even snow or hail. So April comes with a lot of uncertainties, and I hope you pack yourself and prepare accordingly. Especially if you're visiting a field, it's almost certain that you won't have a shelter on top of you. You will be out in the open. It's always a good idea to prepare, bring an umbrella or carry a raincoat. So when it comes to tulip fields, you broadly have three choices. Number one is the Lisse region tulip fields. So Lisse is actually the region which is super close to Keukenhof. Some people actually like to combine visiting Keukenhof garden along with tulip fields, and if you are someone who is on a tight time constrained visit to the Netherlands and you are ambitious to experience tulips in all the ways, then I would suggest you choose this option. So there are various biking maps which are easily available online that you can download and explore the Lisse region by biking. So with the biking option, you have various options to choose from depending on your biking appetite. The easiest biking route through the tulip fields is around 5 kilometers, followed by a 10-kilometer route, and they also have a route which is almost 25 kilometers long. And bear in mind though, we are here in Netherlands, and when I say bike in Netherlands, it almost always means a bicycle and not a motorbike. Lisse town center is almost around 8 minutes away from Keukenhof, which kind of makes the whole car option a more practical choice in case you don't wish to work out that hard on your vacation. So the second option you have if you want to visit tulip fields in Netherlands is to go all the way to the east of the country to this island called Flevoland. Well, historically speaking, Flevoland was never really a land. It was actually an island which was created out of nowhere by the Dutch engineers. So as of today, Flevoland is a very vast island and has a lot of tulip fields also which you can visit. But as you can guess, the east side of the country is not very popular among the tourists. So you would expect to not encounter any touristy crowd there as much as you would find that in Lisse. So for the route itself, you can actually buy a digital map on Visit flevoland.nl. Tulip field route is not signposted. So if you want a certain bit of peace of mind, you can actually go to the website, visit flevoland.nl and buy yourself a digital route. But in case you are one of those people who love mini adventures, I got you covered. So assuming you have a car, you have to navigate to Flevoland. You can select any random city in Flevoland like Almere. In order to reach the right island, navigate yourself to Lelystad, and midway when you're almost about to reach Lelystad, you have to add a bunch of stops in your Google Map navigation system. Dronte, Zeewolde, and have Lelystad as your final destination. So when you continue driving on the roads, chances are you will already see vast areas of land covered with different colors, all on your left as well as on your right side. And that's the tulip fields for you. So then what you have to do is take the very next exit from the highway and reach the tulip field of your choice. The third option you have to visit tulip fields is actually all the way again while commuting to the north of country, which is Anna Paulowna. Many times people do like to combine this option along with the visit to the mini Keukenhof garden, which I just mentioned, which was the polder town. All you have to do is, depending on where in the country you are, maybe Amsterdam or Zuid-Holland, you navigate all the way to the town of Anna Paulowna. And just as I mentioned in the second option, you don't have to do much. You have to simply navigate to this mini Keukenhof garden of polder town. By the time you've crossed most of the country, you will find yourself in this narrow strip of Netherlands in the north of the country. In case you are very late in the season and you visit Keukenhof and the neighboring tulip fields and you notice that the fields are drying off, your chances of spotting fresh and fully grown healthy tulips are actually still existing. All you have to do is take your car or whatever you have and drive all the way to the north of the country, where the season of tulips is typically running on a slight delayed schedule by a few weeks. And you may be in luck and you might find yourself fresh tulips there. Well, this was all about all the popular ways of spotting tulips, but there is another last option in case you just want to see tulips or grab yourself a tulip or two or even a bouquet for you or your loved ones. And that option is the flower market and supermarkets. So you would be surprised at how abundantly tulips are available in the local Dutch markets here in Netherlands. Albertijn is a common supermarket chain, is also the most available throughout the country. In case you spot an Albertijn, this supermarket chain with the blue logo around you, all you have to do is enter there and go to their flower section, and in case they haven't yet run out of the flowers on that day, they will still have a nice beautiful tulip collection for you to take with you. Well, if supermarket shopping is not the most resonating thing with you, I suggest you visit the largest flower market in Netherlands, which is in Amsterdam, and it's called Bloemenmarkt. So Bloemenmarkt is located on the Senegal Canal between Muntplein and Koningsplein. They do have an opening and closing hour every day, so be aware of that. But if you go there, you won't be disappointed. They have endless options of tulip as well as other flower buds for you to choose from, and these are really packaged nicely so you can carry them back home with you. Although keep in mind that different countries have different custom related restrictions, so I would recommend you check that out. I did have a bit of problem while carrying tulip buds myself on an international flight, so it's always a good idea to be well aware of all the rules and regulations. So I hope I gave you all the different variety of options for you to choose from depending on your taste and your preferences to how to see tulips in Netherlands. But lastly though, I have a very interesting option for you. But unfortunately, this last option is only accessible by the people who actually live in Netherlands or are planning to rent or buy their homes in Netherlands. And that is their backyards. Yes, my friends, my personal favorite out of all these options as to where to find tulips. You know, there's this certain kind of comfort which you get, right, when you wake up every morning, especially during the spring season, and you open your blinds and you look outside your own house window and you see an ocean of tulips. That's also partially the reason why I bought this house, because I came here to visit during the season of spring and I was blown away by the beauty of this place and neighborhood during spring season and all the tulips around. And if this is one of your preferred preferred ways of experiencing tulip season in Netherlands, then you are in good hands. So let me know in the comments how you like this video. In case I am really touched by your heartfelt comments, I would personally pick you and invite you to visit me in my own home, where we can visit my backyard and sip a cup of coffee or tea and enjoy the sun and give you that local Dutch neighborhood kind of spring experience for you, away from all the crowds and this unique spring setup in my own personal backyard. Thanks a lot for watching.